All right, what is up, folks? Welcome back to another episode of Lifting, Running, and Living with your favorite coaches, Kelly.
Hello.
See, I just smooth right in there.
So
And
smooth.
JK, that is me. All right, so we are kicking off episode number 65. We're going to start off a little bit different, just kind of logistically here. Still going to start off with updates. However, most of today's episode is going to be dedicated to Kelly giving us a recap of her double race weekend recently. So
Yeah.
usually Kelly starts off the updates, but I'll start things off this time around, and then we'll throw it on over to you. How's that sound?
Sounds great.
Fantastic. All right. Well, the one update that I have is just that I've been working through a lot of different adjustments, which shouldn't say a lot, but I am definitely in what I call adjustment season right now. So
Mm.
from primarily from a training standpoint, so my own training, then also coaching, whether it be in person or online. The majority of my work is online, and then navigating those two pieces around also my full-time in-person job, and then Mace's like basketball schedule, and just my wife's schedule, just a lot of different things, a lot of moving parts.
Yeah.
This is that season where all of the previous work over the past 5, 10 plus years of really focusing with varying degrees of intensity on habit building and improving certain areas, whether it be exercise, sleep, nutrition, or anything that's kind of in between. These are those times where it's helpful for me, at least, to look back and just take some credit and like just kind of operate with, okay, perhaps I'm not chasing some huge, massive goal right now. Like I'm not in some massive strength phase. I'm not in a, like in a purposeful fat loss phase or anything like that. I am literally like focused on maintaining my sanity, one, and two, is really being able to maintain a current level of fitness while navigating through a whole lot of different things. I think these are those seasons that I've helped countless other people with, and I'm currently helping a few people. These are those seasons where it can be really easy to be like, man, I just feel like I'm not really focused on something specific, and I'm not really doing a whole lot. I'm just kind of living, sort of a
Hmm.
thing. And also, I'm reminding myself my version of maintenance now 10 years ago would have been, I hope I can achieve that goal,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. So
Yeah,
this,
it
yeah,
does.
the all of the stuff that I've been focused on with building a foundation, so building foundational habits, and I have this whole like visual that I always picture of, instead of always trying to chase like jumping up to the ceiling, you just continue to build your floor and make it more and more solid. And eventually you just kind of find that sometimes you just don't have to jump quite as high. Like this is that season where I'm just happy that I've got a pretty solid foundation, and it's enough just to navigate like the day to day. So training wise, currently doing a 4-day split, 4-day lower upper split. So 2 upper body days, 2 lower body days, 1 complete recharge day, which is typically the day that I'm coaching in person
Mm.
classes, and then also working my in person job full time. So I've got 1 complete recharge day, and then the other 2 days, one of them I'll typically do like a 20-ish minute zone 2 cardio. That was today. Knocked that out. And then the other day I'll do some interval type stuff. It'll amount to somewhere between 15 to 20 something minutes of different aspects of cardio. That's usually on a Saturday. So that is my training split right now. My workouts are an hour ish, maybe even a little less sometimes. Just kind of
Hmm.
depends, yeah, on how things are going. So that's really what I'm working on right now. That's my update. Is just it's flexible season right now. Just being able to make adjustments when needed. So yeah.
So you're like Taylor from last episode.
Mm, very much so. Very much so in some aspects. Yeah. Yeah. Without without the travel and whatever else. Taylor, I was going to say she, but maybe it was he. I think we
We
decided
don't
they're
know.
gender
We
neutral. They're
Yeah,
fluid.
we've been
They're
calling them
fluid.
they. They're
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah, very, very much so. I was thinking about today as I was communicating with a couple of my clients. I've got a couple of folks specifically who have been my steady. When I say steady eddies, I mean like steady eddies
Mhm.
for probably about the two that I'm thinking of specifically have been with me for probably about 3 years now. And they're just really like each of them is just working through like just having to navigate different storms right now just to try and
Oh,
work through. And it's been really interesting because my style for coaching is very tends to be very much like more like partnership versus I tell you what to do.
yeah.
So, I tend to be more of the sometimes and I'm trying to continually get better at this. Sometimes I'm like the no news is good news. Okay, well, if you haven't
Yeah.
said anything, I'm assuming everything's fine. I see the workouts checked off and whatnot. And then that narrator's like, everything was in fact not fine. So sometimes, not gonna lie, sometimes I will get a little comfortable and just be like, okay, well, I see the workouts are done. I see the weights going up. As far as
Yeah.
their progressive overload, they're, yeah, they shifted this, what seems okay. And I'm like, let me, and yeah, it's definitely been a good thing that just reminding myself that, hey, sometimes the person that's the steady Eddie and that person that you're just like, yeah, they're probably fine. Check in still just to kind of see what kind of tweaks you can make just to kind of keep the car rolling down the track. So yeah,
Mhm.
very much living that right now.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of people probably are getting into holiday season too. It's that time of year.
Yeah, for sure. Does that affect you? Do you go through some of that holiday wise?
Um, it depends what I have on the calendar. Uh, because most years I do a January 5K.
Mm-hmm.
So then November and December are still assuming I'm healthy and not injured, which hasn't really been the case the past couple of years.
Right.
Those are still like training months. Um, but this year I haven't decided yet. So
Okay.
yeah, it
Gotcha.
might be a little more chill. Although I have Wednesday track clubs now, so which is
Mm.
not chill. I mean, it can be chill, but waking up at 5 a.m. on Wednesdays to go to track at 6 is not chill.
Yeah, I was just even as you were talking, I was kind of thinking ahead because I'm thinking to myself, well, what is the stuff that really right now for myself is just requiring all of these different adjustments and whatnot. And I don't
Mhm.
know why, because last year was the first year that Mace played school basketball. So it was the
Okay.
first time that we needed to adjust to sometimes having practice at 6:30 in the morning. So made that adjustment last year because he didn't play on the team in sixth grade. So as I'm thinking through it, I'm like, why does this still feel kind of new-ish? Like we're not new to balancing like
Yeah.
practice schedules, but practice schedules before school and also when sometimes I do personal training for people that early in the morning, navigating
Yeah.
those things is the piece that yeah. So that's also semi-pro tip, people. That's why it is helpful to have like tracking something or like a calendar or something where you can go back and look. Hey, this time last year, what was I working through? Or last time we were in this particular season, same way that
Mhm.
businesses do, because most business tends to be fairly cyclical as far as like like market behaviors and different things like that. A lot of that tends to be pretty cyclical.
Yeah.
So doing the same thing with your own schedule can be helpful. So yeah, that's my update.
Nice.
All right. You're on. You're on, Miss Double Race.
I know. Well, first I have one other update before we get to the double race. I
Okay.
forgot it happened in between. I don't know if she listens to our podcast. We listen to hers. Joy, friend of the pod.
Yeah.
I went to JT's 14th birthday party.
Oh, was it called a potty?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I haven't listened in a little bit. It's probably been couple weeks. I think I've listened since Claire's moved. Has I? No, maybe the pod right before she moved.
Okay, yeah, so you've missed like 3, I think. I think
Yeah,
there've been
right.
2 since she's been in Moab,
Okay. Okay.
but yeah, Joy hosted a party at her house for JT 2
Pod.
weekends ago.
That is
Yeah,
hilarious.
a party. Uh,
Hilarious.
yeah, it was a lot of fun. I haven't seen Joy in person in a while, so that was nice. And I've never met JT until now.
Oh, okay.
JT is a dog for anyone who has not
Oh,
gathered that.
yeah, yeah. I was about to shoot. Yeah.
I know, I've just
Uh,
realized.
not to be
Um,
confused with her husband. Not to be
yeah,
confused
no,
with her husband, Scott. Yeah.
Scott. I also met Scott for the first time.
The ultimate gift giver.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the weekend before the double weekend.
Okay.
Yeah, which because last time we recorded, you were like, if you don't hop in another 5K this coming weekend.
I'm just saying.
But I had that
I mean,
plan, and then I
okay.
had plans on Sunday. I forget what it was, but I had a lot of social plans. Therefore,
I
could
was
not
gonna
jump in a
say,
race.
okay, social life. All right.
I know it was
Jeez
actually,
Louise.
yeah, that weekend was crazy. This is a tangent. I went to Joy's on Saturday, and then I went to a cat cafe with one of my friends on Sunday, and then I met up with another friend for a walk later that day. So wild.
I did not know cat cafes were so I was gonna say prevalent. I don't know that they are. We have a local one here, and I
Hmm.
didn't realize that my friend who runs the run club or the athletes club that I
Yeah.
would sometimes, occasionally, very sporadically drop
Uh-huh.
into also owns the cafe, cafe here in Bloomington called Cat's Meow. If anybody is ever in the
Oh,
area, Cat's Meow Cafe. Yeah,
that's cool.
support a local business. So there you go.
Yeah, I'd never been to a cat cafe,
I didn't know.
so
I did not know they were a thing.
I knew it was a thing. Um, it's just it's like 15 or 20 minutes away from me, so it's not something I would go to frequently, you know?
Yeah, it's an interesting concept.
Yeah. I will say if anyone does go to a cat cafe, this is probably like duh, but if you go on a weekend, expect to see a lot of children.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, so this past weekend was my double race weekend, which I've been talking about for how many episodes now? 3 or 4 probably.
Yeah, I was gonna say three-ish, three-ish.
Yeah. I signed up for both in I think August. So, this has been the plan for a while, as crazy as it sounds. Uh, so Saturday was the 5K, the pumpkin pie 5K, which I did last year. I was going to do again. Same course as the October 5K. Um, so I'll probably do this again next year. I like this 3 weeks apart, 5K, same course. You can really, just get better for the second
That's
one.
basically once a month.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I'm not doing it all year. It's just like these two land fairly close. A lot of this race organization, like their December race is at a different park, so it's a different
Hmm.
course.
Okay.
Um, and then I think their next one after that is in April. Oh, they might have one in February. I can't remember if it's the same organization or another. Anyway,
I
I
could
just
see
like
this
these
becoming a
two.
monthly thing.
I don't
I'm just saying.
know.
Okay.
I want more. I like having these two close together because it feels more like this is a competition season,
Hmm.
like October, November, and then potentially January if I do a 5K then. But then, like, leading up to that is really for training, not for racing, you know?
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wouldn't want to race seriously each month at least because I feel like that just if you're racing, this is totally a tangent, but if you're racing every single month hard, then either you're going to sacrifice some of your races because you're going to train harder and either not taper or not recover, or you're going to sacrifice your training in order to be a little more rested for the race and then recover from the race. And I feel like it just, if you do it too much, it doesn't give you enough time to actually like get the training adaptations because essentially your training cycle would be like 2.5 weeks and then you recover and then two and a
Oh
half
yeah.
weeks,
Yeah,
you
I
know?
could see that. Yeah, especially if you're gonna like really take it seriously and actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you could
Okay.
probably do it. You could do it the best for sure with shorter distances. So 5K and below. because you don't need to taper as much and you don't need to recover as much, but still, there's just something about having like 12 weeks of straight training, to build upon. Anyway, so this was, I would probably say, my A race, unless I do one in January. Well, I guess this is my A altitude race. Because if I race in January, it'll be at sea level, which will be apples and oranges. So going into this race, normally, so last year the October race was a little warm, and then November was perfect, which makes sense with how the seasons typically go, right? This year, the high on the day of Saturday was low 70s.
Oh, that's not, okay. Okay. Respectfully. All right.
Yeah. I mean, for a normal person, that's like, wow, this is a beautiful November day.
Right.
For a runner, the race doesn't start till 9 a.m.,
Mm,
which in Denver, the sun's been out for 2 hours at that point. So if the sun's out and the high is 70, um, it's a little warm for racing hard. It's nothing compared to a summer, obviously, but like in November, you don't really expect that.
right.
And the days leading up to it had been in the 70s, so like overnight, it's not cooling off as much. So I was a little worried about how warm it was going to feel um, going into it, because normally I can do better on the second 5K, just because, like I was saying, I know the course better because I had just done it. I've learned from the last one, hopefully. Or I have some ideas of things I want to change. And then, there were 3 weeks in between the two to do some fine tuning in workouts and getting more confidence. So that was the state going into it. Nervous about the weather. Luckily, it was cloudy, which, for those of you who don't live in Denver or up higher than sea level, it makes a huge difference. Like,
Hmm.
massive. It felt really good at the start. But yeah, where do we start with this? This race is much bigger than the October one. It is some sort of championship, I think, for our RCA, Road Runner Something
Mm,
Association. So a lot more competitive runners come to this race, and there's just a lot more runners overall, and you get free pumpkin pie. So it's kind of like their version of the Thanksgiving turkey trot
yeah.
thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, so this race is a lot more crowded. I convinced some friends to do it with me, which was fun. Um, with the more crowds, it makes logistics harder in terms of we we were in line for the bathroom. We like did our warm up and then wanted to just go to the bathroom before the race. The lines were so long we didn't have time, so that sucked.
Oh, yeah.
They were just moving so slow. And then the other thing about this race, I'm pretty sure I've mentioned it on the podcast before. For whatever reason, and I'm sure this happens in many other 5Ks, people don't know how to line up. And by that I mean, at this race, on the very front line, there were people who took an hour to finish a 5K, which there's nothing wrong with
Oh, yeah.
finishing in an hour,
Mm.
but
Yeah. You
I'm
don't take the
sorry.
front.
You
Yeah.
should not be at the start.
Even I know that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Um, so part of the reason why we hopped out of line is because we wanted to get into the start corral and not have to weave around a bunch of people. So we wanted to try to get as far up to the front as we could. Um, Spoiler, it didn't really matter because, as I said, people who were basically walking were at the very front. Which, not a big deal. You weave around them at the start and then you're gone. But that was the start experience. It was a little chaotic, is the moral of that story. So, my goal going into this race, I wanted to run sub 23 because I ran 23:06 3 weeks prior. And in that race, I ran my first mile, I think, too fast. So this race, I wanted to run my first mile a little more controlled and hold a more consistent pace throughout the race. And like I said last episode, I think it was last episode, just try not to die as much in miles 2 and 3. slow my rate of decay. Um, so we went off, and when we get to mile 1, I saw 7:22, which it was right around where I wanted to be. It was definitely slower than last race, and I knew that the pace I needed was right around 7:20 or a little faster, I think, for to shave off 7 seconds. Um, so I was feeling good at mile 1, although it was feeling a little harder than 3 weeks prior, which was a little nerve-wracking. And like I said last time, shortly after mile 1 is when everything started hurting in the October race. So I was like, I'm curious to see what's going to happen here. Uh, it didn't start burning as
Bro,
quickly. I know. You know
that's
when like
progress.
your lungs start burning because you're exerting yourself? Um,
After 300 meters, sure. Yeah,
yeah. Well, yeah, and then just imagine like holding that for miles. Uh,
that's why I
so
don't do that.
yeah,
Sure.
exactly. But it didn't hurt as early, but I think then it hurt more once it did start
That's
hurting,
hilarious.
if that makes sense. Yeah. So I was trying to focus on not slowing down on the uphills and then trying to gain as much as I could on the downhills. And they're not like crazy ups and downs, but it's enough that you notice it. And again, I was trying to like be cognizant of every mile, but I cannot tell you where the mile 2 sign is on this course. I missed it in October. I missed it this race. I don't think I saw it last year, which makes me wonder, does it exist? Or was I
Dang.
just too much in pain that I didn't know? Because this time I was trying to spot check my watch a little more since I wanted to get under 23 minutes. I didn't want to leave it up to, just pacing by feel like I normally do. Um, so I checked my watch somewhere around like 2.22, but the time that I saw meant nothing to me because I don't know where I was supposed to be at that point. I knew roughly at mile 2 what time I wanted to see. Because for those listening, I turn off the mile splits on my watch because I find it really annoying.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I don't need to know my mile splits. I can look at Strava later after the fact. So that's why I didn't know where mile 2 was because
Gotcha.
it doesn't auto alert me. Yeah. Um so yeah, it felt like I could have sworn I was running slower than in October in mile 2 and 3. And then the course kind of does like these little loop things, and you loop around to mile 3 and they make a turn into the finish chute that's slightly uphill, which is very rude. And right before or right around mile 3, I saw 21 something, and I was like, I can
Oof.
do this.
Yeah.
I can run a sub 23, which is surprising because I thought I was running so slow because it hurt so much. Um, and this time, I didn't even really notice how if I was passing men, if I was catching men in the finish chute, my favorite activity. I was just trying to get to the finish before the clock hit 23 minutes.
Nice.
um, yeah, I ran a 20 to 43,
Oh,
which is
snap.
23 seconds faster than 3 weeks prior, which is
Wow.
crazy.
Especially in altitude,
Yeah, and
right? Okay.
especially because in Baltimore the week prior, so 4 weeks ago, I ran 22:30, which
Dang.
means at sea level I can run faster, um, which
Hmm.
is exciting. So, yeah, that was really exciting. Uh, it was like a roller coaster because I had no idea what was going on in that second half of the race, but it all worked out. And then not the most exciting, the second most exciting thing, the most exciting was running that time. And then I got third in my age group, which, like I said, more competitive runners come to this race. So, like last year, granted, I did switch age groups this year because I'm 35. So I bumped up. And now
Hmm.
I'm the young kid on the block versus at 34, I think I got fourth place in my age group last year.
Wow.
Um,
It's pretty
yeah,
solid.
this year I would have gotten seventh, I think.
Okay.
But anyway, in my age bracket, I got third. So that was exciting. I got another gift card to the local running store.
Ballin'.
Yeah. Yeah, and then my friend got second in his age group, which was
Snap.
exciting. He was trying to run a sub 20. He ran 20:03. So very
Wow.
close, very fast. Yeah.
Nice. Dang.
Yeah. So all in
Okay.
all, a good day. I got good photos, which is runners know it's a rarity.
Always key.
It's hard to look good while you're
Always
running.
key.
Yeah. So that was Saturday.
Okay.
And then Sunday was there's a park called Washington Park, and everyone here just calls it Wash Park as a nickname. So that race is the Wash Park Circuit. So it's one loop on the road around the park, which is about 2.25 miles.
Okay.
So yeah, it's the same organization that put on the circuit that I did in August, which was at City Park. So this is their final race in the series because there's 3 different parks. Um, yeah. So I've convinced one of my friends to do the double with me. So shout out to Emily for being crazy with me. Um, this one I had no idea what to expect because I don't think I have maybe ever run back to back hard short distance races. Actually, I don't know if I've ever done hard back to back races, period. Um, so anyway, I didn't know what to expect because I didn't know would my legs have energy, you know, to run fast.
Yeah. Yeah. I can only imagine, like, especially next day.
Right. Yeah.
That's crazy.
To be fair, on Saturday, what I did mostly was watch Secret Lives of Mormon Wives on the couch. So,
After your race.
yeah, after my race, I took my recovery very seriously
Sounds like it. Okay.
and I ate food. Yeah. But yeah, going into that, I had no idea what to expect. They also, so I've run a few 5Ks at this park, and normally they run clockwise, and you do one lap, and then you have to do another half lap to get to the 5K mark. So this one obviously is only one lap, but they run it counterclockwise, which I've never run before. So
Hmm.
yeah, because I didn't look up the course until the day before. Like I knew the course, but I didn't know which direction it went. Because I was mentally preparing for the 5K course because I know like where the hills are, and obviously the opposite way is just the opposite, but didn't know how it would go because I never run it that direction.
Hmm.
Um, so it's mostly like little rolling hills is how I would describe it. We started on a downhill, and then the rolling started. So, oh, my goal for this was ideally I wanted to run at a faster pace than I ran the 5K because it's shorter by almost a mile. So I was aiming for like 16:20 or 16:30
Mm-hmm.
for total time. So again, I do what I do. I start out running. I don't look at my watch until we hit mile 1, and I could have sworn it felt like I was running so slow, JK. I was like, this is the longest mile of my life. It's taking so long to get to this time mat. And then we get to the time mat and it said 7 flat. And I was like, this might be a mistake.
Wow.
Yeah. Um,
Dang.
because 7 flat, one, that's really fast. Two, when I ran the 1600 over the summer, that was like 6:56 for 1600 meters, which is about 7 minutes for a mile.
Jeez.
Yeah. And then this is obviously the first mile of 2 and some change. Um, so I saw that and I audibly was like, oh. And then I realized I just had to hang on and see what would happen because clearly I felt better than I thought. It just, my perceived feeling, yeah, perceived feeling did not match the pace I was running. Like it felt like I was going slow. Probably because it just felt hard because I had,
Yeah.
a 5K in my legs. So the second mile was definitely harder and there was more rolling hills because part of why the first mile was so fast is because like the first half mile of it was fairly downhill. So it's easy to get rolling. Um, so then the second mile, I'm just trying to stay alive and not fade. But there were so many times in that mile where I was like, you know, I don't need to run this fast. I could slow down. It would feel better if I just slowed down. Like
Jeez.
bargaining with myself, but then I was like, "No, I'm here, so I got to keep going and keep going as hard as I can, obviously." Um so the second one I ran, I think it was like 7:28 pace. So I slowed down substantially, but still is fairly fast. And then according to my watch, there was only 0.22 left. So I finished and I ran 16 flat. So I was really excited about that.
Dang.
'Cause I thought 16:20 would be a stretch.
Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of wish I had known so I could have dipped under 16, you know? Because I for sure could have shaved off a second.
And you were motoring on both of those races,
I wasn't motoring, yeah.
but
I
it
was
didn't
joking
feel like it.
around. No. I'm yeah, the second Sunday's race didn't hurt as much, and I think it might just be because it wasn't as long.
Yeah,
Like,
I
the
could see that.
5K yeah, the 5K starts hurting or it started hurting after halfway, a little before 2 miles, I think. So, like, the 2.25-mile race definitely started hurting about a mile and a half, but at
Hmm.
that point, you're like, "I have less than a mile." Um, and since I know even though I haven't run the direction that the course was, I know the course. So I knew, like, roughly how I've run at that park so many times. So I knew roughly how long, like, a side along the lake was and, like, where turns are. So it's easy to break the race down into smaller pieces and just, like, try to stay in the moment I was in instead of thinking farther. Um, and 2.25 miles goes by fairly quickly, which is nice. But yeah, I was joking with my friends because my Emily, who ran the 5K with me, she was like, "I have no idea how this is gonna go. I'm just gonna like do what I can and try to run fast to you if I have anything." And then our other friend Meg joined. She comes to our track club. She had done a fitness competition the day before, which included 60 deadlifts and some
Oh,
other
okay.
stuff. Yeah.
All right, when you say fitness competition, sometimes I think that's
Oh yeah, not like body,
like
like
stage
the
cut.
yeah
I was
stage.
like, that's gonna be rough, but
Oh,
okay.
that would be
Yeah.
rough.
Okay.
No, it was like I don't know exactly what it was. It wasn't like I would say it's most similar to something with CrossFit, you know?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, something like that. And there were a lot more things. I just remember the 60 deadlifts.
Yeah, that's no joke.
Yeah. And I think they were at like 105 pounds.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, there was a lot that she did. So she was like, "Yeah, I have no idea what to, think
Yeah.
is gonna
How this is
happen."
gonna go. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I'm there, I'm like, "Yeah, I don't know either." But then I was joking with them. I was like, "As soon as we cross the start line, like, I'm gonna be gone. I can't turn it off. There's no, like, I'm gonna take this easy. I'm in this race, I'm gonna run hard."
Like I only have one gear.
Pretty much. Yeah. It's like, flip switches. Yeah, that's how that phrase
It's definitely not how that phrase goes, but let's just go with it.
switch flips?
Yeah.
Whatever.
I swear I've heard somebody else say that way.
I have 2, and that's why it sounded right.
Flip switches. I was ready to
But,
go with it.
I mean, it could go either way technically. A
It's
flip
fine.
can switch back and forth. Anyway.
Sure.
Anyway, there's no chill in races for me, which is why I choose my races wisely. But yeah, I was really happy with that. It makes me really excited for next year because I've already started thinking about what I want to do. But yeah, pleasantly surprised. It's exciting that it feels like my training is finally paying off
Yeah.
and like things are clicking. Um, yeah, and I think part of it is doing the track workouts every week. That's definitely helping. Um, I think the super shoes are a big part of it, and not just because super shoes make you run faster, it's the cumulative effect. You can run faster in workouts and recover better, which makes you believe you can run faster So then you keep running faster and you practice running faster. And then, like the mental side is so big and they just let you build confidence easier.
Yeah, that's kind of
At least
cool.
in my experience. Yeah.
Would you have done a back to back if the second one was a full 5K?
I don't know.
Well, knowing what you know now, if that opportunity presents itself next year or whenever, is that something that you would do? Would you consider doing that?
I don't know. I think I was drawn to the double.
Hmm.
One, because I like the race organizers.
Okay.
Um, and two, because the second day was
The
shorter
base.
than 5K.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think two 5Ks back to back would be, I feel it'd be more brutal.
Yeah, that's so
Even if it's just,
interesting with
yeah.
it being it's a 1 mile difference.
Yeah, not even
Generally. Yeah, I was
less
gonna
than a
say maybe.
mile.
Yeah. But
It's
that's
yeah.
yeah. Huh.
Well, I think part of it is also the one lap around a park is not a standard distance. So it's not like I'm gonna compare this against anything else. The only thing I'll compare it against is if I do it again next year.
Mhm.
Versus like if I did two 5Ks back to back, that might feel, I mean, I don't think I would expect the same or better performance on the second 5K, but it'd be like, oh, I can have a lot of 5Ks to compare this time to.
Yeah.
Versus like 2.25 miles.
So yeah.
There's
It's
like
so
no
interesting to me
pressure.
because it's so close to
Yeah.
it's like the yeah. I don't know. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if I'd run back to back 5Ks. Because in the 5K, like when I run the 5K, I don't know. My goal is usually to run faster or to improve something. If
And
I'm doing back to back the second day, it would kind of be
uh,
like, what's the point?
yeah, I think so from my point of view the differentiator is the like the intention for running the 5Ks. Like if one's more of a
Hmm.
fun run or if you are not say if somebody is more along like my state of mind where I'm just not that competitive
Yeah.
when it comes to something like that. And I think for especially for somebody like myself and what I'm chasing when it comes to bodybuilding and things like that, I'm truly not in competition with anybody else because I don't compete. I mean, literally, my competition is, however, like myself. As corny as that might sound, it really
Yeah.
is myself. That's my only competition. So even if there's somebody working out with me, I feel less than zero motivation to try to one up them or go faster than them or lift heavier than them. It's just not a
Hmm.
thing. I don't know. So yeah, just curious because I wouldn't be shocked if that opportunity presents itself at some point.
I mean, yeah, with 5Ks, you could probably find one of some sort every single weekend
Hmm.
if you really wanted to. Yeah. I don't foresee a 5K double weekend
Okay.
unless I don't there'd have to be some sort of motivation for the second one.
Perhaps like donation to a big organization or something like that, like benefiting a cause or
I don't know, I could just donate
oh
money and
my,
not run a 5K.
oh my gosh. Basically, you don't care about the kids. That's fine.
That's not what I said.
Yeah, it's definitely what I heard.
Me running the 5K does nothing for them. It's the money you pay to run the 5K that
Well,
helps
you never
them.
know. It might bring awareness.
I
Just
could
saying.
talk about it on our podcast whenever without running a 5K
Okay, that's fine.
or Instagram.
That's fine.
Anyway, I'm hard pressed to think of a reason to run back to back 5Ks.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. The way you've explained it totally makes sense because I know that you're like actually going to run.
Yeah.
You're not just like going out for a little jog or whatnot.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
it is one of the it is that's something that I always found interesting when I would have a client who would I'd take a look at their previous like how are they training things like that and this is I haven't seen this as much as of recent with at least the folks that I'm working with, but there was a good stint there. I'd say it was pre 2020
Mm-hmm.
2020's become like the new like before death or before Christ after death, right?
Yeah.
Um, Pre 2020, yeah, I was on like a hot streak there with folks who were like running 5Ks on their rest days. I
Oh,
was getting that for a while. Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. Where it was, they'd lift weights, say like 5 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I asked them about rest days, they're like, yeah, I just do active rest. I'll just go like run a few miles. And I was like, so you're running a 5K? You're like, well, not really. It's just a few miles. Okay. How far are you running? Yeah, about 3 to 4 miles. Okay. Gotcha. So you're not running a 5K. You're just running 3 miles. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. It's like, it's okay. So, like we're just trying to figure out what we're actually working with here.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So to hear you say like, no, I wouldn't, I'd be hard pressed to find a reason to do both of them back to back. Yeah.
Yeah, at least in a race setting. I mean, I've said it before and I'll say it again. If I'm going to pay for a race, I'm going to race the race. Unless it's like an ultra. Those are different beasts, but
Yeah. I
yeah.
get it. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, congrats on results. Congrats yet again. I feel like you keep rocking these races, man. It's going crazy.
Yeah, I don't have any between now and our next recording, so
As of right now, you don't.
as of right now, there
Yeah. As
is
of right now, you don't.
Thanksgiving, but we've talked about how I don't like to run on Thanksgiving morning.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
we shall see. And I think that one, yeah. Yeah, we should be good on that week. So I don't think I'll be running a Thanksgiving 5K either. I doubt. Yeah. I am putting on my list the consideration of running 1 mile a month, though. Doing my
1
timed
mile a
1 mile.
month?
Yeah. For
Oh, a
next
timed
next
mile.
year. Next year.
Oh.
I think yeah, you were the one I was having this conversation with. That whole like,
Yeah.
as I get older, more seasoned, as I age, having the capability of always as long as possible, always being able to run a mile.
Mhm.
Like just having it in your, in your back pocket. It's just like one of those things that I think is good to have in the fitness toolbox, regardless of how long it takes. Like, can you run a mile without stopping
Yeah.
for however old you are? I think it'd be
Mhm.
a good a good gauge. That's based on no science, nothing from Peter Attia or anything like that. It's just I think that'd be a good thing to be able to do.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
Well, we'll file that for maybe when we do our
Our
2026
taking and
goals.
leavings?
Yeah, where we're
Yeah.
taking and leaving. Yeah. All
Yeah.
right. Ready to wrap it up here?
Yeah, I got
Cool.
nothing else really. So,
All right. Well, you want to let the folks know where to find us?
yeah. You can find us on Instagram at Lifting Running Living Pod, or you can email us at liftingrunnинglivingpod@gmail.com. Right now, the only emails we get are about GLP-1s now.
Oh, is that what we're getting now?
That's what we're getting now, yeah.
No more scammers? Well, then
Um,
again, some of those could be from scammers, but
yeah, someone
interesting.
subscribed us to something for sure, because we're getting the same company's GLP-1 emails.
Oh,
I
interesting.
keep forgetting to unsubscribe us.
Maybe they're trying to tell me something. I don't know. Who knows? All right.
Yeah, so that's the latest. If you have any email that is not trying to sell us something, we would appreciate that.
Yeah. All right. And with that, we are going to wrap up episode number 65. If you've stuck around this long, thank you. Truly appreciate it. And we will check in with you next time. Peace out.
Bye.